Apple just announced the iPhone 16e, and many of us were expecting it to be the iPhone SE 4th generation, but Apple just pulled out one of the greatest magical tricks of all time by announcing a phone that not much people saw coming. Not one, not two. Here are 7 perfect tricks that Apple pulled out with the iPhone 16e. So if you're ready, let me unveil to you the 7 major things that weren't spoken about on the iPhone 16e launch that you should know about. Okay, welcome back again to Smart Depot. Magical is the word I will use for the iPhone 16e launch event. Of course, Apple was showing the right hand of the great things that you expect of the iPhone SE, but the left hand was behind, and there were a whole lot of things that were not spoken. All the high points of the iPhone 16e has, coded message, and we're going to decode all of them, starting with the highest point for me, which is the iPhone 16e has the A18 chip. Wow, Apple latest chip. Okay, so let's go into that. Now, the A18 chip in the iPhone 16e is a watered down version of the A18 chip. The iPhone 16e has a 20% slower, quietly bind A18 chip. So calling it A18 chip could be a little bit magical, but here is where it gets more interesting. All the A18 chip that failed certification because one of the core couldn't work could now be used on the iPhone 16e model, and it's perfectly fine. Wow, that's genius, Apple. The second high point of the iPhone 16e is that it has a better battery life than the iPhone 16. Interesting, right? The iPhone 16e has 4 GPU cores. Instead of 5 that is in the A18 chip used in the iPhone 16. So what that shows already is that the lesser number of cores, the lower battery consumption, and that sounds genius. Oh, this new iPhone 16e is gonna last longer, but it has the same A18 chip on the iPhone 16. Okay, there you have it decoded. And it gets even worse with our number 3. Number 3. Apple just discontinued the $429 iPhone XC 3rd generation and also discontinued the iPhone 14 because of the launch of the iPhone 16 SE. Both devices being discontinued means that the cheapest device you get directly from Apple right now, brand new, is the iPhone 16e, and for $599. That has a way inferior 5G modem than the iPhone 14. But yeah, they cost about the same price. Our number 4 would be the new 5G modem from Apple. But before I go into that, I would like to unveil a theory. Call it conjectural if you like. But before I unveil that theory, a click on that subscribe button right now could be magical. And make sure you click on the like and the share button so that more people can get to see this video. So my theory is simple. Apple knows the huge number of iPhone users that do not have access to Apple Intelligence and might want to upgrade, but they don't have maybe all the money to get all the top-end iPhones. So they created this iPhone 16e, whereby they cut a lot of corners, made the price look somewhere a little bit before premium, but then it gives you the Apple Intelligence that you can't even get on iPhone 15 Plus. The other part of my theory is what I tagged the way out for older iPhone users. Of course, Apple was selling the iPhone 14 for $599, but if you're buying the iPhone 14 for $599 brand new, you're not going to get Apple Intelligence, not even somebody buying the iPhone 15 Plus. So the way out for everyone who wants to buy a new device from Apple and get the Apple Intelligence is the iPhone 16e. For those who are using iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 8, iPhone X, XR, 11, 12, even to 13 and 14 can just buy their way into the new Apple Intelligence without paying the premium price for the 15 Pros and the 16 series. Interesting. Now let's go into number 4, which is the new modem called C1 modem, Apple in-house 5G modem that was designed for the iPhone 16e. Well, it sounds interesting. In fact, they tagged it the most efficient 5G modem on any iPhone. Of course, it will be the most efficient. Now, what is the secret that we need to unveil here? The Apple C1 5G modem is sub-6 frequency spectrum of 5G. So the maximum you could get from that should be about 1.5 gigahertz download speed, about 350 Mbps upload speed. That's the highest you're going to get from that. And it's also 5G. And being that sub-6 frequency, it doesn't use as much power as the ones that use the ultra-fast 5G, the millimeter wave spectrum. That way, Apple is testing their new 5G modem without creating any wrong feedback from their users. But the downside to that is that the iPhone 14 that was just discontinued by Apple has a Qualcomm 5G modem that is capable of millimeter wave, that ultra fast 5G on the iPhone 14. Interesting. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 is the return of the ugly notch. I mean, this is 2025 for crying out loud. I use the iPhone 16 Pro here, and the notch on this thing, even though it's small, is still terrifying to me. It's still terrifying for me to look at this notch every time and just look at that old ugly notch being brought back to a 2025 iPhone 16e phone. Personally, I dislike the notch. And I don't know whether it's going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people, but for me, they could have just at least do without the notch. Number 6, No Magsafe. Come on, I upgraded to the iPhone 16 Pro from the iPhone 12, and the iPhone 12 had the Magsafe, so I was already getting accessories for that. And most other people who are using iPhone already might be getting these accessories, and you cannot use it. If you're getting the iPhone 16e, that's another corner that Apple is cutting. Give you this, take out this one. Nice one, Apple. Number 7, there is no Wi-Fi 7, and there is also no ultra wideband chip. Wi-Fi 7 is going to be a deal breaker for 95% of smartphone users currently in 2025 because we just care for a good Wi-Fi, whether it's Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 7. But when it comes to the ultra wideband chip, that's where the problem started to come in because since iPhone 11, Apple introduced the ultra wideband chip that helps to track the precise location of an iPhone. So if you're getting the iPhone 16e, you are also missing out on these two key ingredients that makes the iPhone what the iPhone is, starting from way back iPhone 11. Let's jump right into my conclusion because with all these things I've said about the iPhone 16e, there are a whole lot that is going on for it that you hear in my conclusion. Oh, come on. Apple is so calculated in every new move they make that sometimes it's just so ingenious. And I like the way they think. Now, coming with the iPhone 16e, yes, there might be a little bit cutting of corner here and there. There might be some perfect flaws here and there on it. But make no mistakes, Apple are intentional about this phone. This phone was designed to woo the younger generation of iPhone users, to bring more people to stay locked on Apple ecosystem, to give them the latest that Apple have, the Apple Intelligence, the AI, which is the next big thing, right in your phone from the go once you get the iPhone 16e. Mind you, somebody who's having an iPhone 15 of last year is not going to get that. Apple have over 1.46 billion users of iPhone. And if you look at that figures critically, you realize that over 1 billion users of iPhone currently will never have access to Apple Intelligence, even if they can update to iOS 18. So if Apple is targeting over 1 billion iPhone users with the iPhone 16e, I can tell you that this iPhone 16e is going to sell like hotcakes. So I am seeing it sell hundreds of millions, this iPhone 16e, because most younger generation will really want to jump into the AI and they will cry for it, and it's not too costly. Their parents' word or something can get it for them and it will sell. And that is ingenious from Apple. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think about the iPhone 16e? Is this something you're going to get, recommend, buy for your words, and all this thing? Let me hear from you in the comment section till I see you in the next one.